Man, welcome back to another episode of the Think Successfully Room. This is a platform where we focus on building mindsets, we building character, bringing value to both you and your people, and aligning your body with your intelligence. I'm your host, QB So Effing Amazing, and the Miss Tiffany Ingram. It's nice linking up with you
Hey,
again.
good to be here.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think the first time we probably chopped it up was that it might have been
Yep.
2023, beginning of 2024, somewhere
Yeah,
around
it's
there.
been a minute. It's been a minute. Oh my.
Yeah, so before we get into obviously you are in the AI space, right? And you teach you are a coach in that area, and you teach individuals how to utilize artificial intelligence in order to boost their business in every aspect possible, right? So when it comes to AI, we obviously know there's a good side and then there's a bad side to it. So I just recently sent you an
Mm-hmm.
article that pretty much talk about it was talking about how a particular a pedophile that were using AI platforms for malicious intent, right? So what I pulled from those articles is it explains exactly what we already knew. It's like, we know AI is a good tool, but there's also a bad side to it too. So before we get into this article, right, I just want to read uh, um, exactly what we're talking about in terms of AI. So the title is "Pedophiles Are Using AI to Turn Children's Social Media Photos into CSAM, or however you will pronounce that." So what that stands for is child sexual abuse material. Right, so they're doing that. They're doing that by let's say there's a family photo, right, with a child inside of that
Mm-hmm.
family photo. What they're doing is they're cutting or taking the child's photo and putting that photo inside of what they would call a Nudifier app, and the AI will analyze the uh the face of that child, but place a new body
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
child. Right. So what were your thoughts like when I sent you that article? Like, what was running through your mind when you read, or what I'm saying, when you read that article that I
Well, first
sent
of
you?
all, I was disgusted, right? And so, you
Absolutely.
know, uh, and you're right. Back in 2023, we had a conversation about, I think I said back then, people really need to understand AI and understand ethically
Mhm.
use it, right? This screams, it's past using something in an unethical manner, right? But really what I found to be more disturbing is that the platform itself, so this man took the picture,
Exactly.
uploaded it to a platform, and this platform allowed him to do this. So that's
Exactly.
where, again, I've had to pivot in my business. Yes, I teach businesses how to use AI ethically and strategically, but I also mandate that they have like guardrails in place. Like, what is your AI security
Hmm.
plan? And some of those questions that I
Yeah.
have them ask themselves, but not only the person that they're going to partner with or the solution that they're going to partner with, is what is their ethical standards, right? How are they utilizing
Hmm.
information? How are they safeguarding it? And so, again, this shows a huge gap that we have in this AI space. We're advancing at such a fast rate that we're not able to put in the proper guardrails or protections, and that's scary, right?
It is. It is. It's very scary. I think it's even more terrifying that you can't even take, it's something as going on a family date, going to an amusement park, whatever that may be, not even knowing if it's someone out here who's
Yeah.
preying on your children to be able to use the pictures that they're taking for situations like this, right? So yeah, regulations has always been the thing with the AI, and I think it's very important for people to educate themselves on the regulation side of the artificial intelligence
And
technology.
also create those regulations too. So there's a huge difference between Europe and the US. Like US, it's like we have
Hmm.
a few things in place. Europe, they're not playing. They have a whole
Yeah.
process. And look, if your solution is high risk, you probably won't be able to monetize it because they're not playing around over there. And we have to get stricter guardrails in place for the US as well, because as we see, this is, they're using it for CS, what was it? I don't wanna say the word because I think
C6.
it'll do something with your algorithm, but it's an acronym. Um, yeah, what you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
said, right? You're seeing that. You're seeing deep fakes. People are taking people's face and doing all kinds of things with it, right? Um,
Yeah.
I recently had a conversation with my family and said, "Hey, we need a safe word." So in the event anyone ever calls you and says that they've kidnapped me or anything and demanding money, like, you need to ask for that safe
Mhm.
word because you're probably getting scammed.
That's actually a good idea. That is an amazing idea. I think every family need to
Mhm.
take that definitely need to take that measure. So I mean, like, regarding your relatives, or speaking of your family, right? Because like, by you being so big in the AI space, do you, the same way you make it your priority to educate your clients, do you educate your family on the
Oh,
AI
yes. Oh,
technology as
yes. I
well?
probably talk about it too much, right? But one thing they
Uh,
will not say out here in these streets is that my family didn't know. My family and my friends, right? They
yeah.
know that I have, not only do I teach them, I fact check some of their stuff. Like if you put something out on social media and you're my friend, I may take a
Mhm.
screenshot of it and put it in another tool and say, is this accurate? Like Perplexity. Perplexity is a tool. It's like Google on steroids, and I use it to fact check
Okay.
everything. Because it tells you whether or not that specific thing is accurate, but also it'll tell
Mhm.
you or give you the sources that it pulled that information from. So you can go directly to those sources
Oh,
and say, oh, okay, like this is from Forbes or this is from Harvard Review or something like that. And I've told a couple friends, like, hey,
right.
what you just posted isn't accurate. And they're just like, okay, here come the AI police. I'm just saying. Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, okay, so with the, so it's called
Perplexity.
Perplexity.
Yes.
Okay, so is Perplexity the only AI platform that you came across that provides you with the sources that it pulls this information from?
No, I mean, you can ask ChatGPT, you can ask like Copilot, you can ask for the sources. I just like
Mm.
Perplexity because it's something outside of the program that I like to use all the time. So again, our previous
Right.
conversation, I'm a ChatGPT person to my heart. Chat Keisha is still my number one Ace Boon Coon employee. Uh,
Yeah.
um, and so I don't want to, when someone comes to me and says, hey, how did you truly fact check the information that you like? How do you know what you're putting out is accurate? It's because I'm using two tools. I'm
Mm.
not depending on that one as a sole source of truth, right? So I think
Right.
that's important. Like you need to have multiple points of, again, is this true, right? So you're using it, you're doing your due
Yeah.
diligence to make sure that, hey, you know what, I checked this, here are the articles that support that, this is why I posted it, right? So
Right. Okay, so I was asking that because with Chat GPT, obviously Chat GPT is is like a household
mhm,
name now, right? But I think what people are doing is they're allowing ChatGPT to do all the
mhm,
legwork for them, right? Instead of just using it. And I say this all the time, like, AI is an
it's a
amazing
tool.
tool, right? But use it as like an assistant to assist you with your work. You know what I'm saying? So I think like, now people are asking Chat GPT things about whatever that may be, and not really fact checking the things that they're pulling from Chat GPT. So when they go to post it, or maybe even talk about it, it comes true that the information that they were given were false, right? Simply because they wasn't
And
fact checking it.
anytime you use any tool, right? Anything, you have
Mhm.
to check it. There should be checks and balances in place, and AI is no different. Um,
Right, right.
I use a multitude of AI tools, but especially when I get stats, right, stats or quotes or
Mhm.
anything like that, I'm double checking, right? I'm double check. If I don't know
Absolutely.
something for sure in my heart of hearts, I'm going to check it. And so this is no different. You're getting an answer at the speed of light. You still have to do,
Mhm.
you have an ethical part in it too. You need to make sure that you know it's true before you start spreading the gospel, because it might not be the gospel.
Right.
It might be something else. So,
So I wanted to I don't want to so when it comes to that Nudifier, like, cause you are, more knowledgeable than I am as far as the regular. Like, what do you feel like the US can do in terms of getting apps like that under control?
listen, I always tell people we don't have to reinvent the wheel when it's already been invented, right? And as I look
Mhm.
at, because I look at different, as I'm starting to reach out to like different municipalities, I'm looking at the federal laws, I'm
Mhm.
looking at the state specific laws, because there are some states that have their own laws regarding AI, right? There's some that have none. And
Right.
I always compare it to, again, the EU AI Act in Europe, right? If we had something
Mhm.
like that, that would control a lot of this stuff, right? Recently, over in on that side of the world, they basically passed a law that allowed people, so like my face is copywritten, meaning these deep fakes can't
Mhm.
use it in these deep fake applications, right? So that puts a, you know what
Oh,
I
so
mean?
yeah.
So now you can't, or if you do, you're in trouble, right? You can't take my face and
Right.
then put it on somebody else's body of, and somebody's doing something that's illegal, right? So there are
Mhm.
laws that we can really put in place, but I think we need to really sit down and define what that should look like. The more I get into the EU AI Act, um, the more I'm like, we need something like that here, if not this one, because it's really descriptive. It puts a lot of onus on the developers and the platforms that are being created to fit a certain standard.
Mhm.
And also the businesses that want to incorporate it, right? You have to make sure you train your
Mhm.
people on ethical AI use. And so,
Facts.
I read an article today that said 82% of HR professionals, they're utilizing AI every day at work, but only
Mhm.
30% of those people have received like specific job training on how to use it, right?
Mhm.
So you just letting them run wild with ChatGPT in your organization.
Right, right. So in other words, you're saying there has
It
to be a
has to be a
system
system.
with the
There
you.
has to.
Yeah. So now I just forgot the
No,
EYET at
the
uh
EU, so it stands for Europe AI Act, but it's EU AI
okay.
Act. Yeah.
Could you explain that further, more in detail of what? Because I never heard
So
of it.
what I started to notice, so I specialize, like, again, I pivoted. I'm like, okay, I can teach you how to integrate AI solutions into your business. But do you
Hmm.
have like an AI policy? Are you telling your employees how they should and can use AI? And a lot of clients are like, no, we don't have that, right? And that should be a foundational point. So as I started looking at and having conversations again with different organizations, I'm like, okay, they need like a security or AI protection framework. Are there frameworks out here? What are we supposed to be doing from a federal standpoint? So I started researching. And again,
Hmm.
everyone has their own little, well, you should do this or this is best practice. But Europe, and I remember when this came out, Europe really sat down and said, look, before we're going to allow any of the organizations or even these developers to sell these specific AI tools, we're going to, or maybe there were a few that were out already. I'm not quite sure on that. But they put together, hey, this is how we're going to operate on this side of the world. So it talks about
Hmm.
assigning risk ratings to different AI platforms. And if it's of the highest rating,
Hmm.
like at the high level, this is what they have to do. At a medium risk level, this is what here's the criteria that you have to be able to check off or basically say, hey, we pass this specific criteria that you have here before it can even be adopted into an organization, right? There has to be training,
Yeah.
right? Um, and also with businesses, there's certain things that they have to do. Like it's a whole checklist of things. So I think really it made businesses and also the platform developers take a different approach. It wasn't who's going to get first to market, or if it was who's going
Mhm.
to get first to market with the ethical solution that'll pass this basically this huge hurdle known as a law before we can even get to the money. And it made the safety the number one priority versus, hey, now we're in $1 trillion industry and we're going to build all these things and think about it later.
That is smart, and I think that's something that this country lacks. Is what that actually is very smart as far as uh, uh like if we just imagine like all the so it's this you might have told me about this platform Futurepedia.
Did I
You
feature
might have
media?
you might have somebody told me about Futurepedia. I feel like I can't remember. Well, I mean, but you know what Futurepedia is though.
I'm
I would
trying to
assume.
think. Now, I don't know every AI tool. Um,
Oh, okay. Because somebody told me about so with Future P, it was like a directory for AI
okay.
platforms, right? So
Yeah.
literally, like you could type in whatever it is you was looking for, productivity, creativity, whatever it
Yeah.
is, and then it will provide you a list of different
Exactly.
platforms. So it would actually be pretty dope if there was a risk rating attached to every one of
Hmm.
those apps, and then letting you know the risk and the outcomes and the possibilities, and really giving you the option on whether or not you wanted to
Yeah.
continue to utilize that platform, right? So now it's like in this country we stay in, you never know what you getting yourself into, regards of the different tools that you come across.
Exactly. Exactly. And you have to ask the question. So now,
Yeah.
really, in the US, the onus is on the, again, the company that's inviting the solution in, right? And this is what I tell leaders
Hmm.
and even leaders that say, hey, you know what? I don't want to bring AI into my business. Well, you better tell your employees because I'm quite sure they're using it. And I'm quite sure they put
Yeah.
proprietary information into ChatGPT. And if you're not careful with these updates, so even with ChatGPT, recently I went to my settings and I had to switch off that I didn't want the language model to be able to train on any information that I put in there. Right. I had
Hmm.
to opt out of that because it was automatically checked. So if you don't know that even the tools that you're comfortable with, when there's an update, if you don't know, hey, how is my information still being protected, right? You have to check that. And I wouldn't have known had again I not been connected to the group of AI consultants that, hey, did you know ChatGPT did an upgrade and now it can just train on your information unless you go in and opt out. No, I didn't know that.
Right,
So
right.
you have to stay next to, again, really close to any AI solution that you bring into your organization and understand the changes, the upgrades, and how that's going to impact your employees and your customers too.
So this is what now that we this is one of why it's on my mental. So obviously like the technology that's evolving, and in the time that we
Mhm.
stay in now, it can be difficult to keep up with, right? So what is some resources or maybe some tools that you use to help you stay on top of the evolution of artificial intelligence?
So I'm using AI to stay on top of AI. So uh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually asked ChatGPT basically to give me updates regarding. So let's just say I wanted to know about updates as it pertains to AI security. Um, I told
Hmm.
ChatGPT every morning before or at 7 a.m. I would like to know what's going on in the artificial intelligence security or governance space. Please provide me with every
Hmm.
article every day. So that's a way for me, and it's delivered every day, 7 o'clock. Any article that comes out, I see it. I'll also go to Perplexity and I'll say, hey, what's some of the challenges or some of the AI news that's occurred today? And I'll put the date in there. It'll give me the AI news, right? Um, and
Mm,
so those are two things, because what I do tell people, I'm like, find one tool that works well for you, because there's a million other. When you talked about Futurepedia, I thought
yeah.
about the so I get a newsletter, and there's a solution that's called, is there an AI for that? And so it sends me
Mhm.
newsletters about upcoming AI platforms that are just been released, that are in development. And it's the same thing as Futurepedia. So it's like you have to find the tool that works best for you and stick with that one, because there are 20 million other ones that are being released, right? And if you try to follow all of
Absolutely.
them, then you're going to be overwhelmed.
That end, it's hard to master a
Yeah.
hundred a hundred different tools, right? Like I I I believe that whatever it is you're trying to achieve, whether that's productivity, scheduling, creativity, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, there's an
Yeah.
app for everything, right? So that is excellent advice, right? Just find an app for a
Mhm.
certain area, master that app and stick to it, right? Because then you can really see real potential in your workflow. You tend to slow things down when you try to master this tool,
Yep.
and then you wanna figure out this tool as well, right? Get you a list of, what would you say, maybe 5, 6 different tools? Get you a list of 5, 6 different tools, maybe, whatever that number would be. Master those tools and
Stick
then
with those.
stick
And
with
I
it.
would say, look at your pain points. Like, what are you trying to solve? Be very strategic,
Mhm.
right? There's a AI tool for everything out here almost. And
Yeah.
so I always tell people, build your tech stack, but build it strategically. I know for me, I need
Mhm.
ChatGPT. I need Perplexity to fact check. I need Gamma AI to create PowerPoint presentations. I use Notion, right?
Mhm.
And I use there's an AI detection software, because you can tell an AI prompt when you see one. You can tell an AI caption when you see
Yeah.
one. It's real
Yeah,
emoji
yeah.
heavy and it sounds real robotic.
Yep.
And so I use that tool to basically tell me if it sounds like it's AI, it's an AI detection tool, or does it sound human?
That you said that's what
No,
Notion do?
Brandwell, is it Brandwell.ai is the AI detection tool. I'm getting into Notion and
Okay.
using it as like a project management software, because I have a lot of
Mhm.
projects and stuff that I'm working on. So I'm getting into, like, I'm learning how to utilize that for that. I also use
Mhm.
it as a repository, meaning if I find prompts that I want to make sure that I keep and maybe give to my clients, that's one place that I can direct them to and give them access to the information on that sheet, right? So again, I have 5 tools that I live by. Oh, and I use Canva. Canva don't count. But
Can yeah, 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 Canva the GOAT. Yeah, Canva the GOAT.
so you just have to be clear on what problem you're trying to solve. You find the
Yeah.
technology that works well with each other and works well with you, and then you go on about your
Mhm.
business. Like, you can't use every tool. It has to make sense. You control the tool. The tool
Facts.
doesn't control you.
That is a fact, right? And that like you, that's an easy recipe for being overwhelmed, is trying to learn 100 different things. Like I just don't think your brain is set up
No.
to like I guess embrace that amount of technology, right? You have to find something and stick to it. So that is so now that I want to ask this based off what you just said, right? So you said you got a total of
Mhm.
5 tools that you have mastered. It makes sense to you and you stick with them. Do you teach your clients to I guess research and find what works for them, or do you tell them, do you just give them your tools that you utilize and tell them to stick with those tools?
So some people say I overteach. I want to teach you how to do it, right? Like a story of,
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
if I teach you how to fish, you'll always know how to fish, right? And you can even tell me,
Mhm.
hey, you know what, these, because I want my solutions for my clients are very customized. It's not a cookie cutter approach with me. I'm going to come in, understand where you are, where you're trying to go, and build something that can scale along with you and your business, right? So
Absolutely.
I want to show you how I did it. If you find a better way, fine. But I want to show you and be
Mhm.
transparent about how I arrived at the place that I arrived, because I noticed something that helps me build trust with them, right? Not holding it
Yeah.
like you can't. Everybody has their own secret sauce, and so I'm not gonna hold,
Absolutely.
oh, this is just how I do it. No, this is what I did. This is how I identified where you are. Based upon this, here are the tools that I'm recommending and why. Right. So I'm
Mhm.
going to teach you. Now, a lot of people, though, when you pay for something, like a lot of people know how to make a cheeseburger, but I don't have time. I don't have time to make a cheeseburger, right?
Yeah.
Your cheeseburger might be better.
Yeah.
So guess what?
Right.
I'm paying. I'm paying to have my time back, right? I just want to instill
Mhm.
trust with you, so you know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not one of these overnight AI consultants that's popping up all over the place.
Right, right. No, you
Yeah.
doing it the right way, and that's what I admire, because you don't run into a lot of individuals that's educating people uh on AI and how to implement the technology the correct way, but also saying like, hey, like even though this is a useful tool, you also have to be
Yeah.
aware of this as well. Right. So that's what I admire about your expertise and what you got going on. So it's something I read inside of a magazine. It was an artificial intelligence magazine that I picked up from Barnes and Nobles. I got it wrote down. So your imagination plus technology equals a
Hmm.
masterpiece, right? So that's like I live by that, and that means a lot, because like for Mid Journey, for example, like Mid Journey was so intriguing to me because it was like everybody isn't an artist where they can just sit here and have the talent to draw exactly what they're
Hmm.
picturing. You know what I'm saying? But Mid Journey made it to where you can think about the craziest shit and explain it in detail to Mid Journey, and 9 times out of 10 it's gonna create an image of something exactly how you
Yeah.
was picturing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what was amazing about Mid Journey. So that's like I think Mid Journey is one you got to put in the arsenal
And
as
I
well.
think I talked about this the last time. Like I use Midjourney to create a coloring book that I sell on Amazon, right?
Yeah,
So there
yeah,
are
yeah.
people that are now using ChatGPT along with, is it Google Geo? There is a video making software that's kind of similar to Midjourney, and they're making whole movies, right? They are making entire
Wow,
movies with like a paragraph or prompt, right? So we
wow.
are really, again, we're expanding our reach. I've been able to do so many things this year, just with the help of
Mhm.
ChatGPT. But again, I control the tool. There are things that Keisha will recommend. I'm like, Keisha, like, that's not our thing, right? And she's like,
Yeah,
okay, I
yeah,
got you,
yeah,
sis. Like she calling me sis now and everything.
yeah.
But it's like you control the tool. So again, we can do a lot more with artificial intelligence, but so can
Mhm.
criminals, so can people that are scamming, so can
And that's the big
yeah,
one. And one thing I know about a criminal,
they
them
are
some
smart.
smart, like that's one thing I'm gonna say about a criminal. And them motherfuckers is
Very.
smart. You know what I'm saying? So it's some shit they do where you be like, damn, how they come up with that. But what one thing I want to throw in there, right, before we close out, is going back to the
Hmm.
pedophile situation, right? So the second article I sent you was explaining about a pedophile in
Hmm.
Disney World, Disneyland, and he was actually out there with a GoPro
Yep.
taking pictures of kids and taking those pictures off the GoPro and importing them into the
Wow.
Nudifier app, right? So what I want to explain to parents is, or people even, right, is that it is guys like very, very like evil guys like that explores the face of the earth that we stay on, right? So when you are in settings like that, it's very important for you to be aware of your surroundings and look at things like that may seem suspicious, because I think it's fair to say, if I'm out with my son and I see a nigga over here in the bushes or on the beach, the benches, whatever, and he got a camera doing, you know what I'm saying, just snapping. That's something to be suspicious about, to be aware
Yeah.
about, right? So I would just say to parents, like shit like this
Yeah.
does exist, and you just want to be more aware of your surroundings, because it's apps out here that allow them to do just harmful things with the pictures that they capture in these type of
And be
environments.
mindful too, it's not just cameras like this. Like, we have glasses now. You could wear glasses and you filming people.
The
Yeah.
meta joints with the camera on it, like the meta joints, yeah, you probably don't even know
No,
that he
no.
filming you.
So you just have to be, so again, to your point, being very, very vigilant as parents, and these app developers, you guys need to be thinking about how can you put the proper guardrails in place so people are not able to do these things. Like, that shouldn't
Yeah,
have never happened, right? It should have been, hey, you're
it
putting
shouldn't have.
these two things together, our app cuts off. Like, no, your account is banned now, right?
Yeah. Or even an app called Nudifier is
Listen.
crazy to me. Like that's insane.
Insane. So again, government, why are we allowing apps like this to be in production or even being able to be monetized, right? So there's a lot of things at
Yeah,
the government level, at the developer level, at the actual user level. There needs to be certain guardrails in place. But we have a long way to go.
absolutely. Absolutely. So Tiff, is there some you like based off our conversation, right? Because it's always a natural flow with us, right? And that's important for
Yeah.
every episode, right? It's the sound natural, not scripted. Because I could tell you everything I done said. That shit was just
Yeah.
me listening. That was me having the being able to have detail or take detail from what you were saying, and then just being able to
Yeah.
follow up with that. So based off the conversation we had, is there anything you want to add before we close out the
No, I
episode?
think again, everything you said, the article kind of set the tone.
Hmm.
People listen, whether or not, whatever you personally feel, however you personally feel about AI, that is your right. I get it. But it is here and it's not going anywhere. And you
Yeah,
have to understand
facts.
how it's going to impact you at work and also in your personal life, right? I had somebody get scammed that I
Mm.
know, like an older family member. They got scammed out of some money. And luckily they were able to get
Oh
it
man.
back. But that's happening all the time. And they're preying on the older generation. So folks, educate your grandparents, your parents, get that safe word in place and understand how AI is not only disrupting your work life, but also your personal life.
And cannot stress that enough. That is
Yeah.
very important. You know what I'm saying? That is extremely important. Tiff,
Hey, thank
appreciate you.
you.
As always, appreciate you. So yeah, but like back to what we talked about, we gonna make this a normal like man, you might hit me up like Q. I came across this fire AI technology. Let's hop on and talk about it, and we gonna
Okay.
get it done.
There is one that I want you to put
Nope.
on the docket. I just posted about it. So
Okay.
China just basically stated, effective September 1, that all of their kids
Mm.
starting at age 6 will be learning about AI.
That is yeah, no, that deserves a standing ovation. Yeah. No, I like
So we
that
need to talk
deserves
about that.
a standing ovation. No, we do need to talk, because it's like if you not, oh my God, look, we gonna say that for a whole nother episode. We ain't even gonna get into that. We'll fuck around and be on here for a whole nother hour. Yeah. We gonna say that one. Yeah, that's a fire
Yeah.
topic right
Yeah.
there. Hell yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
Okay.
close this out before we go into some type of life is good, y'all. Life is wonderful. Be blessed to be alive. Self-sufficiency is how you survive. To the kings and queens, to the gods and goddess, forever and always. Think sexfully. It's sexually.